We're about to start into spoilers, so there you go.
Nitpicks. Unleash the nitpicks, sir.
Unleash the nitpicks. Okay. And again, I will stress right at the top, none of these affected my enjoyment of the movie. Yeah. I walked out just not quite as flying as you were, but I was definitely levitating. I was like, yeah, and I will watch it again. Oh, I'll say the thing that they go to way too often is that I think in any superhero movie, you need a great hero shot, or at least two, maybe. They went to that well a lot.
Yeah.
I will never tire of seeing someone in a red cape lifting up and someone looking up and they're like against the sun or something. And you're like, oh, shit. Because that fills in it's a comic panel. And you're like, oh, my heart is swelling. It is 3 times the size. And I return all the presents to Whoville. So that kind of stuff is great. But they went to it a lot, even with Lobo. Lobo, of course, is great. You want him to have these great entrances. And I like the way they downplay him at first, of course, where he's got like the hood on, and we know who it is, but he's just in the bar. But there's a couple parts where it's like, yeah, you want to see him on that bike coming through a wall of fire, and it looks awesome. But yeah, Supergirl gets a few too many ha-has, and there's a few too many of the, oh, watch out, here comes Lobo. I still, again, doesn't bother me. Logic brain was like, okay, Superman has only been Superman for 3 years at this point, because this is happening fairly concurrently with Superman, the movie, not Superman, the movie, you know what I'm saying. And so Kara showed up, let's be generous and say she showed up after his first year. So let's say she's been on Earth for a couple years. I mean, that's me. We don't know where that happened. Or maybe it was just, however long it has been, for all the talk she says of, and I know she's speaking emotionally, but her saying like, I don't have a home. Earth is okay, whatever. That's where my cousin is, and da-da-da. She really absorbed Earth culture, like fast. I mean, did she literally go into like an isolation chamber inside the fortress and said, download pop culture into my brain right now? Because, she's watching Casablanca on the ship. She's wearing a Blondie t-shirt.
She's listening to Earth music.
She's got the musical taste of me in my early 30s. I love Jenny Lewis, and all this stuff is great. But I'm like, well, she seems to have really latched on, and again, her attitude and the snark. It's like that seems very formed by Earth or knowledge of Earth, and her references to Titanic and Squidward and things like that. I'm like, she's only been on Earth possibly 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's, I mean, again, not a big thing.
It's one of those things with the languages too. You have to kind of, what's the word? Immerse yourself.
The suspension of disbelief.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
There's a lot of that. And that is in every, you got to do that with every sci-fi or fantasy or superhero film.
That did kind of occur to me at one point, but it's like, okay, maybe super-brained, she was able to learn the language very quickly. Maybe she also just absorbed the culture really quickly because that's just in her nature.
But that also brings back the argument of why wouldn't Superman have, before he knew she existed, why wouldn't, if he had sit there saying like, I'm the last Kryptonian, I should learn all I can. Why isn't he able to speak the language when she shows up?
I think the answer is he just didn't.
I think the answer is he just didn't, and we got some good bits out of it. I mean, essentially, it's like, well, it serves the bits, and we can assume that now he speaks well. No,
he might not, and I'm okay with it. We'll see.
Yeah, he might not, because the robots are still interpreting the message from his parents for him.
Right. Maybe he's learned some words. The story does not. I was hoping maybe we get a little bit of that in this, but it didn't need it. This wasn't that story.
No. Again, it doesn't need it. This is just another thing where it's like, oh, but
they did throw enough little things in there to satisfy this nerd brain.
Oh, I know.
Enough for me to say, okay, good, I'm good with this. For the languages, because I was curious about, they make a big deal about Kryptonian language, but everybody else is speaking English in the galaxy. But
she says the common
tongue.
She should have said interlac, which is literally
I thought about that. I think people would be like, what the fuck is interlac? Because it sounds like some kind of beverage or organization or something. That would have required another line of explanation to explain to viewers what it is.
It could have been something where, like if it was Ruthie or something, and she could have gone, "Oh, you speak Interlac, the common tongue." I mean, it could have literally been that where it just ran together, but it didn't matter. I like that.
As far as Earth culture already being out there in the galactic society,
I think they actually. I came up with a good idea.
Well, and this Kevin Rubio, our friend Kevin Rubio, who watches the channel all the time.
Hi, Kevin.
Hello, Kevin. He said this in one of our comments on our last, when we were talking about the trailer last time. He said, well, maybe, we already know Hal Jordan's been around for at least 20 years. So that's enough time for Earth culture to go out. I was thinking, no, you can go crazy with this, with the DC universe, maybe some time traveling character like that.
Dude, Star Trek has asked us many a time to accept that an alien world glommed onto 1930s gangster culture from Earth.
I know.
And you're like, okay, all right. You just accept these things in sci-fi.
I could easily picture a scenario where like Legion of Superheroes goes back in time and somehow English gets seeded as common tongue or interlac in the galaxy. Fine, good. Hey, that's all I need. It only takes 1 or 2 lines of dialogue to fix these things, and most stories don't even bother with it. In this movie, they did, and little touches. That little common tongue mention, I was like, oh, thank you. That's all I needed.
I like that too, because it explains why some of the aliens are like, ooh, and she understands what they're saying, but some are clearly speaking English, so we think, and it's like, all right, well, there are various people who need interpreting, including the bus driver. It's like, apparently no one understands what he's saying except for his little buddy who does speak Interlac.
That was a really good example of humor that I was really worried I was not going to find funny. There was a little, Babu Frick looking alien, that I thought, oh, this is going to be annoying.
And
he was hilarious.
And it was Seth Rogen's voice coming out.
Oh, was it?
I was like, I was a little afraid because I was like, oh, they're going to lean hard. It was actually a really good performance by Seth Rogen because he never goes like cartoony. He's just like,
no.
Well, I mean, you could go there if you want. It's just in the Seth Rogen voice, but he's not like going, ha, ha, ha. It's not.
Yeah. No.
I was like, he's pretty locked in. All right. I wasn't taken out.
That was one of those moments where when I was laughing out loud at those jokes with those 2 aliens, I was like, great, this is good.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
I was really worried it wasn't going to work, but it worked for me.
There's that bit where she, some of the explanations don't even get dialogue. She plugs her own sound system into the jukebox to play Earth music.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Good catch.
She does. Yeah. So in other words, she's downloaded something into that. And then of course the gag about she still has the headphones on. She walks and she goes,
yeah, I
pulled back.
love that.
And I even thought this was speculation. I thought that the lounge singers, the actual alien performers, what if their whole thing is they telepathically pick up from whatever culture walks through the door?
Because it's only after she walks in,
and then she's
sounds
doing
like they're singing an alien song.
But then goes into Girl from Ipanema, and I'm like, yeah, maybe that's it. Where it's like you don't request it, she's just like, oh, I don't even know this language, but I was singing tall and tan and young and love, and I'm like, I mean, that was a justification for me, but again, didn't take me out. I was like, I'm digging it. So let's see other nitpicks.
Surely the end scene, right? Not the end scene, but the confrontation, how Krem dies in the movie.
Well, I think that as great as Lobo is, and no complaints. Again, it's literally like Momoa. I mean, it should have happened years ago. Where you're like going, that was the character he was born to play in the DCU. He always has looked like him, and the character he brings to it is like, I believe when he says that was his favorite comic character.
Yeah.
He finally got to play him, and he's perfect. He says Bastich, and I'm like happy. He's like, yay! He actually, I didn't catch it if he calls himself the main man, but I don't think he does. It doesn't matter. It's all great, but he needs an R-rated movie.
Yes.
And it's not that I'm a gore hound, and John agreed. I was like, the thing is that he's the character you want, but his violence, his action deserves blood and guts.
Yeah.
And when he's, whipping the gut hook around and, people are going down and it still ends up being shiny. I'm like, there should be people chopped in half, and
sure.
It just would fit.
And I think they do with the way he's introduced when Kara realizes he's there and she's like, oh God, oh no, no, no.
Yeah, she knows him by rep.
His reputation is established. And I love that about this too, that she's been doing, the universe, this is the thing about the Superman dropped us into an Earth that's already had metahumans and superheroes for hundreds of years.
Around. Aliens have been
well established. People are used to seeing crazy shit. This movie drops us into a galactic civilization that's been around for thousands of years. Earth culture is already spread outwards for how we don't care. It doesn't matter. It's just there.
Well, they know about kryptonite, which is interesting, which I keep thinking, again, she is the newer kid on the block, but maybe even within Superman's first couple of years, his legend has already gotten out to the universe because they know that at least some people know.
Yeah.
Ruthie
they know that
does. She's like, I thought everyone died on Krypton. And she's like, no. But some people are aware that there's at least one, maybe two Kryptonians in the universe, and they're crazy powerful. So Krem's at least aware enough to have kryptonite device, things.
And it is, like you say, it's only been a few years since Superman's been on Earth. He hasn't been there very long. So Ruthie doesn't know. She knows about Krypton. She doesn't know about Superman. So that was cool. And the whole thing
also allows her to ask a lot of questions that, the audience.
Exactly. And that was good. I don't know why. That was one of the things John Campea was saying. I was like, I thought the dialogue was bad. I'm like, what are you? I don't. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to spend any more time on the critics.
It's repetitive, but I know what they're doing is driving. I mean, and what movie doesn't? You want to make sure that your thesis statement is understood.
Yes.
And maybe the repetitiveness of some of it, specifically the stuff about you should be good. You don't have to be nice or polite, but be good. And that's a really important. And so bringing that back like 2 or 3 times is okay because that's underlining her entire journey, Kara's. And but she is good intrinsically. And she wants not just I'm going to get your sword back from that dude while I'm drunk. But it also extends to down the line. I'm not going to let you. I mean, they have Krem say, you think you're going to save her soul? That kind of thing. And you're like, well, yeah, that's her thing. She's going to take on the sin and to keep Ruthie. I mean, Ruthie's going to grieve the rest of her life. But they make the point of by living well. I mean, literally, by being a good person and continuing without that stain on your heart. That is the revenge. Yeah. That's the revenge. It's not about killing that dude. Don't worry, I'll do that for you. Spoiler. I mean, again, maybe you guys read the graphic novel. We're not really spoiling anything, even though there are big changes in it. They keep the structure basically the same and the ending basically the same. Kara doing what she feels needs to be done and in a manner that her cousin would not.
Right. Well, and the difference in the comics is that, I mean, Krem doesn't actually die in the comics, which I thought about that when this happened at the end, and I was like, oh, okay, but I was totally okay with it. I was like, yeah, kill that motherfucker. I thought it was a very satisfying moment for me in the story. In the comics, she banishes him to the Phantom Zone for 300 years.
Yes,
and he comes out an old man, and Ruthie hits him on the head. And that's justice served because he comes out transformed. Obviously, this movie couldn't do that. Yeah. And I think there's 2 reasons. I think they wanted to,
I want some Phantom Zone someday.
Yeah, they wanted to put Kara in this more rough character situation than to kind of contrast from Clark.
The moral complex issue is the exact same as the comic. Right, so it is about what does revenge mean and what that doesn't make you feel better. In the instant, it's like, okay, I did that. Now what do I do?
Yeah. The other thing is Phantom Zone. They're clearly saving that for some other reveal. That would have required her to have a Phantom Zone projector just in her ship with her. And that would have been maybe a little bit too much for audiences to swallow.
They didn't mention anything about Brainiac or Kandor. And of course, I knew they wouldn't. But all right, are you going to bring up the neural net thing that she's wearing on her head that looks a little bit like what Brainiac has on his head?
No. Well, let's talk about the Krypton stuff though, because I love all that stuff.
Oh, yes. What I'll say, Krumholtz is he's the Stanley Tucci of the movie. He has not a lot to do, but his scene, specifically the "I'm going to save you" scene, is the same. It serves the same purpose as Dr. Erskine's scene in Captain America. It is intrinsic and important. And you could say, why would someone show up for like 5 days of filming walking around in a robe? Like, what was the point? The point is he gives her the direction, which is kind of the same thing as the Erskine scene, where he's like going, it's not about the size of the guy, it's about what's right there in the heart and that sort of thing. And he's doing the same thing, and he had the same impact. I loved what he did, and they gave him a great part. And to a lesser degree, the mom, Allura, she's a fine actor, and I've seen her in other stuff. But because she has to get sick, pretty early, we don't see too much of her. But she does get a very important Superman line. Anyway, the Krypton stuff, I was really surprised at the architecture. They decided to make it look like Metropolis. They decided to make it look like an Earth City, but like a very stylized,
like the animated version of Metropolis, like from the animated series,
animated version,
like this old 1940s. I loved it. I thought it was cool.
No, I thought it was beautiful. Cool too. It was just like the sci-fi-ness they toned down to some degree, except for, of course, once you've got the force bubble and all that. I loved it.
This is where, my immediate reaction I was talking about, this movie gave the Krypton scenes. There's so many little things thrown in there in the dialogue and the visuals and everything. I was like, oh God, because we learn immediately that Krypton dies very quickly. So there was very little time to react. They had minutes before everything just falls apart. And then as they're running it into the beam citadel, they look and they see Kal-El's ship flying away. Yeah. Is that him? And I'm like looking, I see this little sphere thing. Are they talking about? Is it Brainiac? What are they talking about? I said, no, it's him. Oh, no, that's Jor-El's son.
For a second, I was thinking Brainiac.
Conqueror of Worlds. He mentions that they throw all this in there. We learn immediately the rift between Zor-El and Jor-El is there.
But
anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right. But they do say that Jor-El and Zor-El were trying to they were together and trying to warn Krypton, which I liked that.
Yep.
And so, I mean, okay, so they are ideologically opposed, but they were both smart enough scientists to go like, dudes, the place is going. It's going to blow up. I like that. I still wish Jor-El were not, but the line was very satisfying. They give to Allura where she goes, after he goes, oh, there he goes. And she goes, the sweet little boy who your brother thinks is going to be like the, conqueror of worlds.
Conqueror of worlds, yeah.
I love the sweet little boy. Yeah. And I was like, oh, man. It's like, there goes Kal-El.
And what's interesting, too, is that they could see him flying over, which means that Kryptonopolis, wherever the city that Jor-El and Lara live in, must be pretty close by.
Pretty close by because, he's not like, it's fairly noticeable in the sky.
Yeah. But it's close enough that you can see it's a sphere. Yeah,
apparently the same thing. He goes, because later it's the exact same design. It just made it bigger for
They also say, Allura says, oh, we should have listened to Jor-El, meaning that we should have sent Kara. Well, no, they didn't. Yes. Kara wasn't born yet. I guess they were saying, maybe they were saying about escaping or whatever. So
maybe it's similar probably to the comic where what does take Kal-El was literally a prototype.
Yeah.
And no doubt Jor-El and Zor-El were probably planning on, they didn't know how much time they had, but they were probably planning on making big enough ones to take families or whatever.
Yeah.
So but Zor-El also had this backup plan, which was the bubble over the city.
So we learn as James Gunn was trying to hint for us in the interviews a long time ago, that the ideology that Jor-El and Laura are imparting in that message is not representative of Kryptonian culture. Was their maybe there's a sect of Kryptonians who think that way. Zor-El was not one of them.
Or maybe in a doomsday cult kind of way where Jor-El sees the inevitability. Maybe again, the whole message of the destruction of Krypton is always about hubris, but it's usually in the comics, it's the rest of Krypton. It's the Science Council, it's everyone else believing that can't happen to us because look how advanced we are. Sadly, in the DCU movies, they're saying that Jor-El knew it was coming, But Jor-El seems to also be like completely a superiority type guy who's basically saying, well, I can save you and you will be Krypton. So wherever you go, not only will you, obviously I'm sending you to a planet where you'll be crazy powerful, but you can remake Krypton wherever you go. And because you are the only carrier of our genes, you're going to need to spread those genes around to make a new Krypton. And that's kind of this ethnocentric take, which I'm not, again, like I said, a huge fan of. But at least Gunn's right. Zor-El is more about, no, let's just save us, as many people as we can, but he doesn't have enough time. The only one, the only thing is I've kept my city. And Kara herself said, is like, I had no idea. It's like I grew up because she gets born after the effect. So she didn't see Krypton go, but she sees the death of Argo City, which is all she knows of Krypton, because that's all that's left. And that's very true to the comics, by the way. I mean, they kept the whole kryptonite poisoning. What?
I'm saying that's another thing I was so happy is like they're giving. This is, and a lot of people, they were so, I heard so much grumbling from comic book fans who thought they knew their shit and did not, thinking that they only knew the more recent stories, origins of Kara, where, the time fuddling thing where she was originally older than him and shows up younger because of time.
That's more recent idea.
It's more recent.
It's a fine idea.
It's a fine idea, but that's not what they did here. James Gunn also hinted at that a couple years ago, because he said, well, she's younger than him, and because if somebody was asking him, wouldn't he have asked her about his parents, and said, well, she didn't know his parents, so what would she know? And now we see that's totally true.
She could have watched home movies.
But
yeah, absolutely. They're weirdly going very classic with all of that, and the idea is she's like, well, I'm like 10 years younger. So that makes sense, because she's celebrating her 23rd birthday, and Superman has been alive 33 years in Superman, and all those threes, that was a very purposeful James Gunn thing. So Superman's 33, she's 23. And so no, she didn't babysit baby Cal. She never met him. She shows up and she's like, hey.
But I love that they hit all the beats that's in that original origin.
She even says choke.
But I mean, we get the fact that she was born on Argo City after the destruction of Krypton, and
had a happy childhood, and they're all still healthy for a while.
And they discover that they're living on a bed of kryptonite. The only thing they didn't have from the comics and those series of events was the lead shield.
The lead shield,
which there wasn't enough time for them to get into that with this. Obviously, they didn't need it. But I loved it. It's like when that scene came with the Krypton or kryptonite being discovered, I was like, you guys fucking rule that you actually.
It all that worked. The only thing that took me out was the lady's glasses. I was like, those look very. It's just an Earth idea.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I mean, because like the woman doctor who's like, there's a radiation poisoning and we exposed this radioactive ore when the planet blew up. And she's got very Earth-like glasses. And I'm thinking sci-fi utopia, and they can't fix eyes.
Well, maybe maybe it's a computer screen.
Well, I would have accepted like cool sci-fi goggly kind of things, but instead they were just glasses. It looked like she went to Warby Parker. But I was like, okay, all right. Again, the scene lands. I mean, like I said, there are little things that popped up. I'm like, And what I was getting excited about at the very beginning, we started talking about the kryptonite stuff or the Krypton scenes.
Yes,
is you're concerned very early, obviously, about, are they going to speak Kryptonese? Are they going to do this? They lied to us. They did the thing, because in the trailer, when Krypto first runs over to her English, in English, she said, "Well, you didn't say maybe this is just for the trailer. Did you say that?"
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, good on you.
Then when she picks up Krypto, she says, "Who are you?"
Who are you?
In English. I think that was probably just for the trailer.
She says the exact same line in the movie, but it's in Kryptonian. Oh, what? So yes, all the scenes on Krypton, they are speaking so much Kryptonian that Chad was taking notes. He was taking notes. He's like, so blah blah means flavins, lamos means comments and potato.
The other thing that I was so satisfied with, because I kind of, we talked about this. I told you I think that they shortened that scene where Superman meets Kara for the first time when she lands.
Exactly. Yes.
There's a lot more dialogue in the
There's
movie.
a lot
and
more.
I loved it. That's it. That he says, he opens, says, "Hey, I've been tracking your ship for months. I think you're from Krypton, right?" I'm like, damn it, I fucking love this. I love this. I love this. You guys don't understand.
Didn't say how the ship knows to drop near the fortress, but I mean, again, that
he may have guided it. Maybe he picked it up and lifted it.
We don't literally see. Kryptonian homing beacon recognizes other Kryptonian tech going, I'll go there because there's a Kryptonian signal or some kind of shit.
Obviously, Zor-El probably knew Jor-El's plan, that there was going to be a fortress there, all that stuff for sure.
Yes, because they do keep saying where you're going, you're going to be extremely powerful. So
all that clearly was
planned. They did their Earth research.
But that line where they threw in, he said, "I've been tracking your ship for months." I was like, thank you, Anna Deguera. If you're the one who wrote that line, I'm sure she did that. Thank you. That was a very thoughtful line. And then also, they don't get into this in that scene, but remember, I reminded you that in the original origin I keep referring to, they don't know when she first shows up.
Right.
No idea that they're related. Oh, no, in the comic, in the comic, they have no idea they're related. And in this movie, she knows, obviously, that he's her cousin. He might
actually not. I think she doesn't quite in this movie. She is going like,
she's asking, "Are you Kal-El?
Are you Kal-El?"
Yeah,
and he doesn't know what she's saying.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, in that scene, we don't get this far with them.
They don't give us a scene where he realizes. I mean, he will have what I mean. Obviously where he goes, "Wait a minute, you're actually not just another Kryptonian. You're my cousin." I
was really hoping we'd get that panel that I put in that there were. Clark's like, what? But I think when she first shows up, he doesn't know that they're related yet. They kind of hint at that. But I love the extra dialogue that we get in the movie that's not in that clip that they put out, where he's babbling like, "Come on, it'll be great. Yeah. This is gonna be, you'll love it." And he turns around and goes, "Oh wait, you don't understand a word I'm saying."
Yes, and the whole thing is, you don't understand. Why am I talking louder? Yeah. That's dumb.
That's so
the stuff about calling him adult or oafish really offends me, just because it is the same thing that they brought up in the first movie. He is a Kansas guy who was brought up with very traditional values, and he's a good-natured, nice guy. That doesn't make him stupid. He is on top of it, and he's even thought things through at some point when he presents her with her costume. I mean, that is the whole point of him like going, this is just so people know you're good. He's already thought about the psychological impact of having a second godlike powerful person from another planet on Earth. And he's like, I have built this into a symbol that people trust. And I want you to have the same thing so people trust you. I know you're good. And the way she treats him through most of the movie, where he's leaving these messages and calling her, and he's just being, he's being him, where he's like going, I hope you're having a good time. We sure miss you here, though. It'd be sure nice to have you back.
Yeah.
And then if that was where they left it, but the movie is about giving all of these little storylines arcs. He has an extended cameo. He's not
it's not just flashbacks.
Vital to the plot, but there's a lot of him in there, and wrapping up with them coming to this unspoken, she's happy to be home, and she says that, which of course for her means a lot more than I'm happy to be back from my trip. It's about I'm happy to be in my new home, as is Krypto, who's getting into the chocolate. But that's thing where they're just sitting there across from each other, and she's like, well, how's it been? Well, I had a tussle with a dude. I could have used your help, and he's like, but it's okay. It all worked out fine. Yeah. And where he goes, I'm really happy too. It's just like, that's all you need.
Yeah.
They don't have to.
They didn't need, and they could have thrown in a conversation about the message and all that stuff, but that was not this movie.
No.
The subtext was there in that conversation when he says, you can see a little bit of world wariness in what he's saying. He's like, yeah, me too, because he's been through hell and back while she was gone.
I think it is a thing of they both are dealing with the loss of Krypton in different ways, which is important because I like that they are different people. They have different perspectives, but it weighs on him. The whole point of Supergirl, even back in 1950, when she showed up, the whole purpose is he's less alone. And obviously back then it was much, cheesier and silver agey. But the idea of you experienced that. I didn't experience the same thing, but there's been no one else like me this whole time. And I finally have someone. Personalities, not exactly the same, but that's family too. So the whole idea that she has gotten to a place by the end of this movie, which is why I say it's so satisfying. I mean, the action is satisfying. Her succeeding and saving Krypto, all that's very satisfying. But the whole thing is, she's not better, but she's slightly better and accepted that she is loved. She has a home. It is just not what she would have chosen. And she says that at one point in the movie. It's like, if I could have stayed there forever, Argo City. It was like, I was happy. That's what I would never have chosen what's happened to me. Just like you never would have chosen to grab your father's sword and go on a mission of revenge. It's like, that all works by the end.
I love the way the suit is kind of set up. You see it, Ruthie keeps seeing it, sitting in the corner of her ship and going, and then she brings it to her when she's suffering under the green sun. And I love that moment where she says, I thought this would help. And Kara goes, Ruthie, it's just a stupid suit.
It doesn't do anything. Suit. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. I was
thinking, like Greatest American Hero, I thought maybe she would throw in another reference. I'm not Ralph Finkley. But no, they didn't need to do that. But that was what their suit represented. Like as you were just saying, it was so rich.
Oh, they're using a very well written.
Because think about it in real life, if you were uprooted from your home and you were living with a cousin you barely knew, and he's like, I made a suit for you. Here, I made, you'd be like,
we'll be super twins.
I don't want to wear your dumb clothes. But she comes around to embracing it.
But also, the symbolism is that the whole reason she's gone on this jaunt is, of course, celebrating her birthday is the cause. And even Clark knows that's not the real reason.
Yes. She's self-medicating.
He's like, I really wish you spent more time here on Earth. I mean, it's your birthday, so you're probably still partying. But it's not about partying. It's about separating herself from all the stuff that she hasn't yet acknowledged really what means something to her. So she's purposefully keeping the suit, and the screenwriter is also purposely keeping the suit for when the moment comes when she's like, nope, I'm Supergirl and I have to do this. And this means something.
Yeah, I saw people complaining. I think she should have been wearing her suit earlier in the movie. It's like, you really just weren't listening or paying attention to the story at all, were you? I don't think John Campea was either. They complaining about the dialogue and all this stuff. He also complained like, they didn't establish that her love for, it was only after Krypto got injured that they established the bond between them. I'm like, what?
Where were you?
That was the first thing they did in the movie was their bond, man.
Yeah.
I
mean, here's the thing. I've seen real life dog parents who are much more effusive and are just constantly, he's a good boy, he's a good boy. But also, that's not necessarily how people express love, even for their pets, all the time.
They're sharing food.
The line that they actually stretched farther out, because I thought it would happen earlier, is maybe because of the trailer, is where she goes, home is wherever you are, buddy. And they keep that until after he has been shot and poisoned, is when she finally says it. I think that's when the alien healer lady's like, I can't do anything for him unless you get the antidote. But it doesn't matter where it occurs. Again, you don't need to have that stuff delivered to you on a fucking silver tray. No, it's context and subtext. It's all there. And yeah, I saw a lot of reviews sad. They're like going, well, Krypto got sidelined for most of this movie, just like in Superman. I'm like, do you guys want Krypto in every scene? I mean, I love him too, but come on.
We have Krypto. That is a miracle. We have Krypto. We have a live action Krypto in 2 movies now. And you guys are finding, okay, I'm not going to get into that again.
There were some reviewers who were like going, man, as far as motivations go, so this whole movie is just about this lady trying to save her dog. And I'm like, wow, again, that is her surface thing. She's also bonded in a less showy way with Ruthie fairly early on, and she's mainly pushing Ruthie away to kind of protect her and protect herself from caring. But eventually it's like, no, I guess we're in this together. I guess we're going to go take care of this stuff. So I keep going like, what would satisfy you people? Either they make it much more complex, or maybe it is just about, I want to protect this young lady from a big mistake with her life, and I want to save my dog. That's not enough. I think that's enough.
It's enough.
Literally. I mean, come on, people.
Yeah, I don't get
need
it.
Infinity Stones all the time.
We had just seen in the movie before when Krypto is kidnapped by Luthor, and Superman loses his shit. He's like, no, give me the dog back. You know, he's not going to stand for it, and that was enough. I don't. What more motivation do you need for somebody to leap into action?
And really, I got to say, Superman's a simp, because Krypto clearly loves Kara more than him. When Krypto like comes into the apartment at the end and is like all boisterous, I was like, oh, he's gonna run to Clark. No, he runs to the kitchen.
Yeah.
But Clark is still very happy to see him.
Yeah.
I mean, also, would chocolate really hurt a Kryptonian super dog?
It probably wouldn't have killed him, but it maybe it would make him sick.
Like, no,
that's
I mean, just they're good bits. Also, it's just good stuff.
Oh, and this was one thing I was going to say about Krypton. They don't, and this is, I don't know if they show them actually dying in the comics in the original origin. I can't remember.
I mean, they eventually do in Silver Age, and they all end up green skinned. It was like, kryptonite poisoning.
When we see that shot of her flying away, and you get that gorgeous shot of Argo City just floating in space, and I'm like, God. And I had that thought thinking, oh, they're not going to show them die. And so that the possibilities out there is like, does Brainiac come along later and scoop up Argo City and preserve them, since it's the last Kryptonian city?
That is something that could happen, or tragically more likely, they just died and there's an empty city floating out there. But it would still be full of Kryptonian technology and stuff like that.
Full of interesting shit.
Full of interesting shit. I would prefer that, just because I'm such a diehard. I'm like, I really want Kandor.
Yes, I agree.
And it's like,
I had that thought too. It's like, oh, it'd be cool if they scoop up Argo, but only if he also has Kandor.
Maybe they reveal that Argo City is just the name they gave it when it got the bubble, and it's always been Kandor. I mean, that's a stretch. That's not necessary. You guys do what you're going to do. But yes, you can't keep the comic brain people from thinking this stuff.
There is a little slim possibility that her father's actually still alive. There's a possibility.
You know, something I really loved in the Krypton scene is in the funeral procession, the crimson leaves that are on top of her mom.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I mean, that's, they have flame trees. They literally in the comics, and I'm like, oh God, it's you could take it as, well, they're like maybe dead or dying leaves. In Earth culture, we would think of that, and so it's like an autumnal, she has passed and this is a decoration. But I was just thinking Silver Age comics of like, oh my God, the red leaves of the flame trees of Krypton is what they put their beloved people in. I'm like, oh man, that's good stuff.
Let me back up this one, and this isn't really a nitpick.
Back up. I'm right here.
It was one thing that did, only one of the things that did occur to me while I was watching it, thinking, wait a minute, which is the great scene where Ruthie is in the brigand's prison and it discovers that Lobo's a few cells down.
Oh man.
And I thought, wait a minute, and I realized that they're kind of doing the referring to the animated series episode. Where Superman and Lobo are in prison.
Yeah, the episodes are the main man part 1 and part 2.
By the collector alien guy. So it's kind of similar to that, because a similar beat happens in the animated series where Superman gets out of his cell and Lobo's like, hey, wait, where you going? Come back and save me too. So they have that beat here. But I was thinking, how is he not able to break out of the cell? What did they do to him? You know,
they never addressed that, and that nagged. But then they also show a thing of when she does bust out and then gets him out, and he's like, "Hey, don't forget about me." And then he comes out, he goes, "See, I told you the plan would work," which means we missed something where this was all kind of. He goes, "If that guy comes in, maybe do this thing." Yeah. So they've got him in there for some reason.
I thought it would have been funny after he said that. She's like, "What plan?" Like it was just some bullshit that he said.
She again, that felt good, and it felt good in the animated series or in the comics again, where Lobo, they kept calling him godlike or immortal, and I'm like, I don't know if I've ever really heard him referred to as that in the comics, other than he's as tough as Superman.
Well, he has a healing
whatever.
factor, I think.
Yeah, but just the
But
whole thing of
they
like
kind of allude to that here.
how he gets captured anywhere is like, I don't really know what they got on him.
Yeah, it would have been nice if there's a little bit of explanation there, but this wasn't a movie to explain him.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
just
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of there. So I kept thinking that it was part of his plan. Like he was like, "Shut up, I'm
Yeah,
don't blow my cover, kid."
Unless this totally bombs and that's the end of James Gunn and the DCU, I mean, which of course is worst case scenario. If it somehow continues, you know, we got Clayface coming up and all kinds of stuff, I could easily see them going, now it's time for the R-rated Lobo movie.
Yes.
And,
they're gonna do it.
The guy who directed Deadpool 2 and something else really awesome, apparently after seeing Supergirl, texted, and of course it was, or like tweeted. So he goes, call. He just went, Momoa, me, you, Lobo movie. And I could see it.
Yeah,
I could see it.
In that scene, it was one of my favorite lines of dialogue in that scene was where she's telling him her story, like, oh, you know, they killed my parents, and he goes, well, they must have had a good reason, and like just for fun and sport. He goes, that's a reason.
Yeah,
that's so great.
They keep him in character.
Yes,
he's not a softie. He doesn't have a big heart or anything, and I'm glad that they didn't turn him into one of those things like, I like you, kid.
Yeah,
he likes her mainly because she fights. She fights back. Same with Supergirl. I loved the thing in the sort of last big battle. He definitely shows up very conveniently to help her because, I mean, and I saw reviewers going like, isn't this her movie? Why does she need to be saved? Superman needed to be saved in his movie. Heroes go down, especially when the guy has concocted a weapon specifically to take you down, which is nanobite, like whatever, like kryptonite particles and arrows. The fact that she's still standing is pretty amazing, but he saves her for a bit. Then he drives off. And I was like, yeah, you know, he gets his bounty, which is the most PG-13, like, dude, he chops a head off screen and puts it in a bag, but we don't see the head. We just see something fill a bag. I'm like, oh man, you had to baby step that. Anyway, and then he drives off. I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. But when they cut back to him later and he's just been kind of watching.
He's just watching going, yeah.
Yeah. And then he's like going, those girls are pretty badass.
I loved
and it's just a respect thing. That's all you ever get out of him is respect. And I liked that.
I saw a couple of people, even Bobo Talks was saying this. And I
saw a couple of people.
I respect the fuck out of Luke at Bobo Talks. I love his channel. But he is one of these nerd brain guys who, like you, gets way into the nitpick weeds. We both do. It depends on the movie. But this was clearly a movie where you were thinking a little bit harder than I was about some of the things that were on screen. But he said that I know Lobo just was, I think maybe it was just a little bit too campy, you know, for just it wasn't the depiction he was thinking of. Every time somebody says that, I'm like going, it's Lobo. That's like complaining that Santa Claus was too jolly or, you know, his beard was too big or something. Like, come on, he's supposed to be over the top. And I thought they were actually restrained with him.
Anyone that's not familiar with the character, and I forgive the reviewers who clearly aren't comics people. It's like, okay, it is up to the movie to tell you who he is. That is on the movie. But if you already know the character, one thing you know, the character was meant to be a parody character. His comics tend to almost never, when he gets his own miniseries or whatever, he has shown up in crossovers and in wider DC titles as a guy who's important to a plot, as like a fighter or whatever. He's been serious. But the thing is, it's all broad parody. He goes to space prostitutes and stuff. I mean, it's all...
Yeah.
He was meant to be a Wolverine parody, is the whole thing. And so, in other words, if you're complaining about him being like this boisterously violent, campy, cheesy dude, like...
That's the point.
That's him.
Yeah.
He drives a space motorcycle. A space motorcycle. I mean, come on.
I love, too, that when... Ruthie wakes up, or she's in the cell, and she gets stuck on the side. I can't remember. She gets stuck or something on the side, and he picks up a rat and throws it at her to break her free. It's so great.
Yeah,
there's so many great moments in this, and yeah.
The whole bit of her breaking free with Lobo is just there are Gillespie. I don't know if they, I don't know if the influence was there of them saying, do it your own way, but try to make it as much like James Gunn as possible. I don't know if that was a behind the scenes thing. He does, and so does the screenwriter, matches kind of a James Gunn expectation or tone and this kind of thing. But he's a really good dramatic director, but this is the first time he's really been able to do an action film. So let's forgive if some people found it muddied. But the sequence of the breakout and just the tension thing of her behind that door and like there's her sword and there's a guy coming in to piss and it's all about how is she going to get from there to there. And also, I mean, all the tension beats during the last battle when Kara's taken down and Ruthie on her own is like dangling from this cable off the ship that's about to crash and all this stuff. I found all this. I was like, dude, this is crackerjack.
Yeah.
And people are like going, well, at some point it becomes this muddied, dusty thing where you can't tell what's going on. I'm like, the awesome thing is when they do the whole with her whipping around in super speed, taking these people out, it's also economical. I will say you can see that wherever they can, they're like, let's save a little bit of money. But it's well done because what you're seeing is occasional bursts of her heat vision in the clouds and people like, oh, I thought she was just hitting that guy and another guy's going flying. It's because she's doing all this at super speed. I'm like,
yes,
guys, I'm down for it.
Yeah.
The one, another nitpick. I'm sorry.
Come on.
That just made it pop into my head.
Come on.
And it's a good scene though, is where, boy, and this movie does go hard because, I mean, she does save the wives. We didn't bring that. We're going to bring that up in a second, I'm sure. But she doesn't save the understandably duplicitous couple who ran the bar and their daughter. She doesn't save them.
She's not there.
And that's
in time,
hard. But the scene where she realizes she doesn't have eyes on Ruthie or Krim, and she comes up and she's up there going, "Where is he?" And I'm like, that's like in a Superman movie where they're going, "You have telescopic and X-ray vision, so." And super hearing. It was like, how could you not know where he is? Because he's only like 2 or 3 blocks away. But she's like, where is he?
Like, this is a sin we've pegged in almost every single Superman movie, by the way, y'all. So don't take it too seriously. But yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
The X-ray vision that we've seen in both Superman and this is interesting because it's not technically what they've done before, which is, just a fuzzy outline, but you're seeing crystal clear. This does look like an X-ray. It looks like, the body scanning thing. So it's got like, it's all white and blue and black kind of stuff.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say about that scene is that there was a lot going on and there was it was a big, messy, cluttered city. So, Yeah.
One of the introductions or additions in this movie that isn't in the comic, but this is similar to what I always said about the MCU movies and still say, when they make changes, they're smart ones. I think this made smart substitutions all the way through. And Krim's goal in the comics is really just raiding is it. This thing introduces, probably because, well, not even probably, definitely, because it's something unfortunately relatable, but also ties in with the theme of it's heavy-handed female empowerment message. Not saying it's bad. And yes, it's very similar to Fury Road. I'm not going to say it's not. It's very similar. But the brigands, in addition to being raiders like pirates, they collect girls. And they collect girls for procreation and probably horrible fun what they consider fun. But because a line is introduced that they are all male, and the only way the brigands can continue their species is they abduct and impregnate girls. And so that is, it also includes not a kind of a MacGuffin, but more of a save the cat thing, because if it was just Supergirl and Ruthie getting revenge on these awful people, that would be satisfying. But at one point when you think everything's okay and the Ruthie's like going, they're still on there, they're still alive, the brides, and these are just women who all seem humanoid. I was like, well, they're just
brigands have particular tastes.
They have like, this is our taste, this is our preference. She has to go back before the ship crashes to rescue a prison cell full of captured women. And she does. Yay.
Yeah.
And that's obviously to make us feel better that she wasn't able to save the one earlier.
Yeah.
But they also help her out at a certain point where it's like, yeah, they're not just going to hide. They're like, those ladies tried to help us. We'll chip in. They man a cannon at one point. All that's good. I mean, some people going, that's so on the nose. I'm like, it's okay if things are on the nose, if it works, if it fits.
Yes.
And this wasn't arbitrary. I didn't feel like it was something like going, oh, they've got to introduce this. I'm like, no, it makes it gives it a point. It's not just about what happened to Ruthie. It's not just about Kara wanting to cure Krypto. It's also that's what I was saying about Krim. It's okay that they are irredeemably evil because you want to see them all get killed or just beat the shit out of, or possibly beheaded and their heads put in a bag. Meanwhile, I get to hear a lawn blower outside my window right now. And I'm like, come on, dude. Jesus, I live in the city. There's not a lawn down there.
A regular segment of the show now, the neighborhood noise at Brendan's place.
Also, I will say this. It's not fall. What are they blowing down there? What are they blowing down there?
He's leaning out the window and go, what are you blowing?
What are you blowing? New T-shirt, Chad? New T-shirt?
Yeah, I know, right? They did mention that in the dialogue when she says, Ruthie, don't kill him, and sets her free from her revenge. And Ruthie walks off, and then she picks up the sword and goes back to him. And I thought, oh, they're actually going to do it. But she says, she stabs him in the gut first. That's for my dog. And then when she kills him, so that's for this is what you did to that little girl, meaning the Barr family that got killed, that she failed to save. And I thought that was very satisfying moment right there.
I will say, I mean, it's very satisfying.
But it did leave her with this heavy thing, like, oh shit, Superman kills. I mean, Supergirl kills.
Supergirl kills.
And
if it's necessary.
And this may be something I kind of interested to see what they do with this, because she's going to be Man of Tomorrow.
I would be interested to see, if that has an echo in later Superman stories, like in any good comic. Like we've mentioned before, the Kryptonian villains from the Pocket universe back in the 80s, they're a very important storyline where Superman killed them. And this, because he saw no other way to keep them from crossing dimensionally over into our, and there's 3 of them with his powers. And he's like, I don't want to do this, but the only thing he can do is he executes them with kryptonite. But the thing is, they didn't do that for shock value. They had, because they used to plan back in the day where all the Superman titles were interconnected, they do story meetings where they would plot out the next 2 years of Superman comics. And so the implications, the impact of what he did resonated. It wasn't just like he felt bad about it, he went back to Lois, everything was fine. No, he exiles himself to space. He feels he's taken a step too far. His personality starts to fragment a little bit. That's when he becomes
it messes him up.
Yeah, messes him up. Then he goes and exiles himself because he doesn't feel worthy of the Superman name or being. He doesn't trust himself on Earth, so he leaves. That was great. That was good eating. That was good comics eating. Where you're like, see, you take that and you follow it through. Eventually, it resolves. He feels better. He comes back. Never forgets, because he would bring it up occasionally. Or Batman, being an asshole, would do it like, well, you've killed Clark. Oh, leave me alone. I think that's an exact quote. I could be wrong. So I again, it's tough. And Millie Alcock, all praise is deserved. I'm glad, even if the people are like going, it's middling at best, it's serviceable, or even, this is a shitty superhero movie, who cares? All of them are at least going, oh, she's good. And she is.
That's right.
She carries the comedy beats. She carries the pain. She carries the tough parts where she's making difficult choices. And she's just a presence on film. And that's for someone who's like literally 5'2". In fact, she is this tall. Her next movie, she'll be appearing with this action figure of the Golden Age vigilante. Hey, how you doing? I'm good, and yourself? Yeah, you should probably put down the guns. I will not. I'm going to work on the story, but so far that's where I'm at. She's
One
a
thing
little bit.
I forgot to mention, because I love this. There was another moment early in the movie that I was so satisfied with, when she's sort of interrogating the bandits that are tied up on the ship. You know, the transporting bandit, whatever they're called, the blue.
Yeah,
the blue bandits.
She called them like tech pirates or
Yeah, something
something.
like that. But they're tied up on the ship, and she goes in there to interrogate them to get information of where the brigands are, and she uses the narrow focused heat vision that she uses to kind of not torture them, but kind of threaten them a little bit. Like, I could do this all day.
Well, they're like strapped into the chairs, and she's like, "Look, just talk, or bad things are gonna happen."
Yeah.
And she zaps right past one on the side, and she goes, "Don't worry, I'll even it up. There's another one on the other side."
Yeah, it was so
and
cool.
she's just like sweating, going like, "But you won't kill me." And or it's like, "What are you gonna do?" And it's in the trailer where she goes, "What if we don't talk?" And or what if we talk? What do we get? And she goes, "Oh, I don't know, an intact spinal cord." It's
Right.
really good.
I love the thing about this. I love was so nerdy satisfying is that, in Superman, nothing against Superman, but when he uses heat vision in that movie, it's just it's like full blast. Still tuned, obviously, because he's using it to knock out the Raptor guys. So
I'm sure that in things we haven't seen, he has probably done plenty of fine focus.
Absolutely, but we get to see her do that in this. And it's really the first time we've seen it. I was like, that was really cool.
And another thing I love from that scene was, I mean, just like the comic, the movie plays with, and it does a good job of just like going, on some planets with red suns, she's got no powers. And the whole thing about she really can't fight back against these tech pirates because her powers are dormant. And the whole thing about how close are we to a yellow sun? It's like, there's one right over there.
Like, is there a restroom coming up? Rest area coming up.
When she finally gets powered up and goes, because the tech pirates get away in their ship, but then she shows up and they're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Because I love the typical sci-fi thing of one of the tech pirate ladies goes, we've just lost our engine. And it's like, found it. Just looking out the window. It's so awesome. Supergirl's just holding the engine, just lets it drift. She has dismantled their ship at super speed.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a nod to the Superman movie, and
it's also Flash. It's very much a Flash thing where it's like he chases after bank robbers, and they're in their car going as fast as they can, and then the car is literally just scrapped, and the engine's been dismantled. There's some pieces around because he took the car apart while they were driving. I love that comic.
That's what I was talking about. And this is not a dig against Superman, last year's Superman movie.
I know you're not. No digs.
This is what I'm totally talking about. This is something that this movie gave us that the other Superman movie didn't, which I think did disappoint some people, that we don't get, and that Superman movie really didn't get like a Gatling gun moment, like from Superman Returns. We didn't get the crowbar, like, oh my God, he's really Superman, In this movie, in that scene you just mentioned, we get it, where she shows up fully charged and just wrecks shop. And they're all shit.
I mean, that's, again, these are satisfying moments where, and I also appreciated where the movie shows us that just because she's depowered doesn't mean she doesn't fight back. The movie wanted to make it pretty clear that she paid attention to what her mom and dad told her, which is like, do good. You don't have to be sweet-natured and pliant. Just do the right thing, and we trust you to know what it is. So, I mean, she's pretty depowered when she's drunk and goes after the dude who stole the sword at the very beginning.
She clearly still has a little bit of power.
She's got fighting skills, and she's got a little bit, because she can handle. She does the whole thing of waking up. That was a great bit. Waking up, and she's like, pulls the covers off, and just that thing is impaled in her thigh.
Yeah,
and she's
I love
like,
that too.
Oh, geez.
And that scene too, where I love that whole scene where she runs out drunken to stop this guy, because she's a hero. She can't just let him get away. She's does the right thing. I loved it. She goes out and she does that, and then she gets knocked down, and it's a moment, again, a call to Superman 2.
I love that.
She laughs. Oh, look, check it out, it's my blood. Because this was one of my nitpicks with Superman, is that we didn't really get him reacting to seeing his own blood.
His first time. He's probably seen
they kind of hint this is something for another, when we actually do a breakdown of Superman, but the opening crawl, or the opening
where
title
it
card
says it's the
does
first time
say
he's
lost a fight for the first time.
First time, yeah.
But he's reacting to it, and the robot's reacting to it as if it's routine. So there's a little bit of a disconnect there.
But that doesn't. I mean,
it's not a big
losing
deal.
a fight and getting hurt are two different things. So that was probably the first time he lost a fight, but he's probably been beat up by whatevers.
But because they established in that movie, and a lot of people say, "Oh, he's so weak." It's only when he's fighting somebody who's equally or more strong than him that's eventually going to happen.
Don't you want that? I mean, doesn't that make him somewhat more, relatable?
It's so in this movie we get her reacting that way. So it's maybe he didn't do it, but it's in the universe. It's in the universe that it's a thing,
I love that it was a different take. She's amused.
Yeah.
And she would have seen her own blood because she was, for her first 8 or 10 years of her life as a girl in Argo City,
it's probably the first time she's seen it since she's been Supergirl.
And she's like, "Oh, that's great." That. And meanwhile, the alien's like, "I don't care. I'm going to kill you."
Yeah.
All that stuff was good. Guys, we could just talk about scenes for the rest of the time. And I hope you understand, for all my little nitpicks, it is not something where it's important, because some movies, these things do take me out of it and affect my general feeling for the movie. And I'll usually, my complaint is, I wish it were this much smarter. It's like, I wish they had thought this through more, either in the script or in the way they film it. In this case, these didn't take me out at all. And like I said, I think this and Superman make a very good hand-in-hand examination of the characters, and they feel of a piece. I was slightly disappointed. Here's another one that came back. You've got the alien bus full of aliens, some of which are great. Most of them are great designs.
They're great. Yeah, great designs.
But I just you could have thrown in one or two that we know. I mean, you could have thrown in a species from the comics. That's the Easter egg brain in me, where I'm going, you could have had a Gordanian or a Tamaranian like Starfire. You could have had and they never need to be named, but it would just be a visual thing where, again, the nerds of us would be like, I bet he's with the Spider Guild. But that's me. And we did get poop corn, so we got that.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is I understand some of the humor may not land with people. The movie did a really good job for me of kind of establishing what it was doing as far as the humor was concerned. And I was like, it got me like right off the bat. I was like, okay, I'm on the same page with this humor. I can hang with this. And it kind of reminded me some of the humor early on. It was like a John Hughes movie almost. It was like a 1980s. There was just kind of 1980s feel to the humor. And I love that about it. And it made sense. It's Craig Gillespie. He's in our generation. That's the stuff he grew up with too.
One reviewer, I basically went to Rotten Tomatoes and kind of went down top critics, and the ones that would allow me to read the full article without signing up for a subscription to like New York Times or whatever. So I was getting views, and I read positive ones too. I will say no one has loved it as far as top critics. The ones liked it, the ones that liked it are like, yeah, it was okay. I'm like, wow, okay, man.
Yeah,
all right.
I've noticed on Threads, and this was true when Superman came out too. Threads just seems to be a place where these fans go. Oodles and oodles of positive, glowing reviews from fans on Threads.
I am going to be interested to see. When it comes to Rotten Tomatoes, I will be interested to see the audience reviews.
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
I do think there will be a divide. I remember what I was going to say, because we were talking about the 1980s feel of it.
Yes.
And someone in one of the reviews was like, they didn't mention John Hughes, but they were like going, man, if this had just been Supergirl on like this crazy bar adventure comedy, if that had been what this was, I would have liked this more. And I'm like,
isn't that what it was?
Well, then it wouldn't be this movie. There wouldn't. Yeah. I guess they just really liked the parts of her getting slammed and being snarky. And I'm like, oh, okay.
We got a lot of that. Yeah.
We got plenty.
Speaking of the aliens, that one that after she beats up all the guys in that bar after breaking the guy's hand, and everybody's clearing out of the bar, and that one kind of snaggletooth looking alien is the last to leave, and he's backing out, and he just goes, "That was awesome."
Yeah.
As he backs out.
That's
She
the one.
interrogates
That's
him
the one.
later.
That's the one. That's the contact for the couple. But yeah, he does. He does kind of like a.
That was fucking cool.
Well done. And leaves him
I will
alone with
say,
Lobo.
I thought all the creature. I was constantly or repeatedly throughout the movie going just amazed at the creature design. It was like, oh, that's really cool.
Oh, there's a lot of
that looks really great.
Design.
You know, yeah, it was very very imaginative.
Essentially, I mean, she ends up kind of in the cantina in Star Wars, or at least a couple of them. And it's just that we've come so far. It's like, look what you can do. Some of them are clearly just humanoid. You know, they've got 2 arms and whatever. But, you know, there's that one that looks like a mole rat thing that comes up and kind of, we don't know what it's saying, but she goes, yeah, never in a million years, buddy.
Yeah,
so
tries to hit on her. That was the other thing.
Yeah, not going to happen.
It was like John Hughes movie mixed with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in a way.
Oh, yeah.
And if you guys don't know these references, I'm sorry. In a way, maybe that's one of the problems with this movie is that it was aiming for, but there's a lot of younger people I've seen love it too. But it really does seem like it was aiming at people our age with the humor anyway, with the humor and the sci-fi references and stuff. Because it was very Douglas Adams. The whole scene of the bus was very Douglas Adams.
Yes, but I mean, there's some of that in the actual graphic novel as well. Only, obviously, Tom King didn't go so much for comedy. Like the bus driver kind of thing is not like a Tom King deal. But when the tech raiders are not part of the. I don't remember them in the comic if they exist in there because it is very episodic as they travel, but. The fight scene where she's stolen one of their short range teleporters and just ends up in different places, including under one of the aliens' asses. And you're like going, that's great. I mean, it's like, they have different tones for action sequences depending on what it needs to be. Some of them are really like, ooh, man, that's tough. And some like this one, you're not really too worried. You're like, oh, this is kind of cool. And look at her go, even without powers. She's doing a great job. Very smart to steal the teleporter thing. And then like, oh, drop me off at the yellow sun. Can't. And then she just gets shoved into space. She did get very lucky there because nothing saved her other than, a sunrise. And you're like, okay.
Totally. That was a moment where, it was just luck. But I was totally there for it.
And
that was a moment when she comes back and starts ripping the things off the ship. And Ruthie's like going, oh,
her
I was like, this is so
screaming
good.
into space scene, which was from the comic, but it's for a different reason in the movie. It's still a release for her of pain. Beautifully done. And then like the one tear that just kind of floats in weightlessness. I'm like, guys, I'm not saying it's not a masterpiece by any means. Is it a little bit? I say this a little bit Shaggy Dog, as in rough around the edges. Yeah, maybe. Maybe some of the effects are a little muddied. Guys, just go see it. I mean, you'll like it. You'll like her. You won't see more with her. The end. Boom. I can't wait for Man of Tomorrow, and that should show up. That comes out next week, so I can't wait.
Next week, it won't be long now.
Man, I wish. Go see Supergirl. When you do, let us know what you thought.
Yeah.
If you plan not to go, and occasionally I do see that people will respond to our videos by saying stuff like, nice, but I'm not buying it. Or I would never watch this. I appreciate you came by to comment on something that you have no knowledge of.
But you still commented. We see you. You actually want to see it.
I know. I see that happen not just on ours. On a lot of like people will choose to comment by saying, my opinion is this based on nothing other than I refuse to engage with this. That's not a great argument, but I do think you've got choice. Your choice is to not see Supergirl. And your choice is also not to tell us that you didn't see Supergirl. What I encourage you to do is if you see Supergirl, even if you hated it, let us know. What were your thoughts? Why? Because I'll listen if you've got complaints about it. I read all those reviews and I disagreed with a lot, but I also understand where I'm coming from. Oh, thank God. At this late age, 57, I know where I'm coming from. So we love hearing from you. Let us know what you thought. And until then, should we just wrap it?
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.
Oh,
what?
Flip.
Oh,
no, I don't know. You were doing hand gestures.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So all the scenes on Krypton, they are speaking so much Kryptonian.
There's so
Chad
much
was
Kryptonian,
taking
baby.
notes. He was taking notes. He's like, so blah blah means flavins. Lamos means comments and potato.